The Irtysh River winds through the heart of Siberia, carving a path through endless forests and remote wilderness. For centuries, its slow-moving waters have been a lifeline for isolated communities, a silent witness to the ebb and flow of Russian history. Today, this ancient river has taken on a new significance. Its gentle current is now central to Russia's evolving economic strategy. A strategy born out of necessity and ambition. On board the Sibirsky 2107, Captain Alexei Volkov stands at the helm, sipping tea as the morning chill lingers in the air. His ship is heavy with Siberian grain, destined for the icy ports of the Arctic coast, a journey that is becoming more common with each passing season. This is no ordinary journey. Each trip north is a calculated move. In Russia's pivot away from the West, a response to sanctions and shifting alliances that have forced the country to rethink its place in the global economy. With Moscow cut off from many of its traditional markets, the government is looking eastward, turning to its vast network of rivers to forge new connections with Asia. The Irtysh and its sister rivers are being transformed into vital trade corridors, linking the Russian heartland to the booming economies of China and beyond the Severodvinsk, and thousands of similar vessels now form the backbone of this new trade route. They move not just grain but oil, timber and minerals resources that are in high demand across Asia. These ships are the arteries of a new economic lifeline, pulsing with the promise of opportunity. The river's pace may be slow, but its capacity is immense. Unlike the congested railways, the waterways offer a reliable and flexible alternative, capable of handling massive volumes of cargo with fewer delays and less wear on infrastructure. Captain Volkov has seen the rail gridlock firsthand. Freight trains stalled for days, sometimes weeks, as demand outpaces the capacity of the tracks. Bottlenecks have become a symbol of the old way, a system straining under the weight of change. By contrast, the river remains open and underused, a vast and largely untapped resource. Here there is room to grow, to expand, to imagine a different future for Russian trade. Russia's leadership sees these waterways as more than just a logistical solution. They are a way to assert independence, to adapt to economic isolation, and to build new partnerships that could define the country's future. The grain in Volkov's hold is more than just food. It's a symbol of a strategic shift, a tangible sign that Russia is betting on its rivers to carry it through uncertain times. The journey north bypasses old routes and old dependencies, sending goods directly to the Arctic, where they can be loaded onto ships bound for Asia. It's a logistical feat that would have seemed impossible just a decade ago. This is a quiet revolution, a shift from the speed and rigidity of rail to the steady, adaptable capacity of rivers. It's a change that is happening out of sight, but its impact will be felt far beyond the banks of the Irtysh. As the morning mist lifts, the true scale of the river becomes clear. It is a natural highway stretching for thousands of kilometers, ready to carry Russia into a new era of trade and influence. The Sibirsky's voyage is just one thread in a much larger tapestry, a grand plan to reshape Eurasian trade, to redraw the map of commerce in the 21st century. For Captain Volkov, it's another day on the river, another journey through the shifting currents of history. But for Russia, each voyage is a step toward economic survival, resilience and renewed influence in a rapidly changing world. The slow boat, once a symbol of the past, is now a vessel for the future, a deliberate, steady course toward a new destiny. In the quiet churn of the river's wake, you can sense the momentum building. The slow boat is now the future, carrying not just cargo, but the hopes of a nation. Russia's destiny for now is being carried by the currents slowly, steadily, and with purpose toward a new economic horizon. Russia's turn to its rivers was born of necessity, not choice. In the wake of mounting international isolation, the country found itself cut off from many of the global systems. It once relied on the landscape, both physical and political, was shifting rapidly, and Russia had to adapt or risk stagnation. Western sanctions closed off traditional trade routes, forcing Moscow to look east. The familiar corridors to Europe were suddenly blocked, leaving Russia searching for new pathways to keep its economy alive and its goods moving. The pivot to Asia, especially China, became essential for survival. New partnerships were forged and old rivalries set aside, as Russia sought to integrate itself more deeply with the booming economies of the East. This shift demanded a new logistical framework, one that could connect Russia's heartland to its new partners. The challenge was immense. How to move vast quantities of resources and products across a continent-sized nation, often through remote and rugged terrain. The vast river network, once secondary to rail, emerged as a strategic asset. These waterways, stretching thousands of kilometers, offered a lifeline that could bypass closed borders and reach distant markets. Rivers like the Volga, Lena, Amur and Ob-Irtysh now link agricultural, industrial and resource-rich regions. They form natural highways, connecting the interior to export hubs and facilitating the flow of everything from grain to minerals. River transport, once overlooked, can move bulk cargo cheaply and efficiently. Barges and cargo ships glide along these ancient routes, carrying the weight of Russia's economic ambitions. The government began investing in these waterways, seeing them as tools of economic power. Massive projects to modernize ports, deepen channels and upgrade fleets were launched, signaling a new era for river transport. Reviving river fleets and upgrading ports is now central to Russia's plan. These efforts are not just about moving goods. They're about asserting independence and building resilience in the face of global uncertainty. Goal: a resilient, self-sufficient trade ecosystem less vulnerable to outside pressure. By weaving together rivers, rails and roads, Russia aims to create a network that can withstand external shocks. Rivers are being woven into a network with rail, road and Arctic sea lanes. This integrated system is designed to open new routes to Asia and the Arctic, expanding Russia's reach and influence. Russia is determined to trade on its own terms, using its geography as leverage. In a world where alliances shift and borders close, the rivers of Russia have become both a symbol and a tool of national resilience. For decades, the Trans-Siberian and Baikal-Amur railways were Russia's logistical backbone. Now surging trade with Asia has overwhelmed these iron arteries. Bottlenecks and outdated infrastructure cause costly delays, stalling both exports and vital imports. Even with upgrades, railways can't keep pace with demand. The result: gridlock that threatens Russia's economic ambitions, shifting heavy, non-urgent cargo grain. Timber coal from rail to river is now a necessity. This frees up rail capacity for high-value, time-sensitive goods. Rivers offer a parallel system, easing pressure on the rails. By integrating river and rail at key hubs, Russia aims for a balanced, resilient logistics network. The river strategy is no longer optional, it's essential. Explosive trade growth with China is rapidly reshaping Russia's economy, transforming the landscape of commerce across the vast eastern regions. What was once a trickle of goods has become a torrent, as new trade routes and partnerships emerge at an unprecedented pace. Bilateral trade has soared to record highs, making China not only Russia's top customer for energy and raw materials, but also its leading supplier of manufactured goods, electronics and everyday products. Russian resources: oil, coal, timber and more flow eastward in massive quantities, while Chinese goods flood Russian markets, filling store shelves and fueling local economies. But the infrastructure is struggling to keep up. Border crossings are jammed, and railways in Siberia are operating at full capacity, causing costly delays and bottlenecks. Far eastern cities like Vladivostok are overwhelmed by the sheer volume of cargo, with ports and warehouses stretched to their limits as they try to handle the surge. Relying solely on the legendary Trans-Siberian Railway is no longer viable. The iconic route, once the backbone of east-west trade, now faces unprecedented congestion and logistical challenges. That's why rivers like the Amur and Obi River are gaining new importance, offering alternative trade pathways that bypass the most congested routes and open up fresh opportunities for commerce. These vast waterways can move bulk goods like grain, coal, and metals directly between Russia and China, providing a vital link that's both efficient and cost-effective. To unlock this potential, new port facilities and international agreements are needed. Investment is pouring in, and the scale of opportunity is enormous for both nations. The trade boom demands a bold, comprehensive infrastructure solution, one that connects rail, road, and river to keep goods flowing smoothly across borders. As Siberia's mighty rivers become the arteries of this new era, they are poised to transform the region into a thriving hub of international trade. To unlock its river's potential, Russia is investing $6.2 billion over 6 years. The plan: modernize the river fleet, build new grain carriers and tankers, and upgrade ports. 6 new logistics centers will link river, rail, and road in key cities. These hubs will streamline cargo transfers and bypass bottlenecks. President Putin's vision is clear: transform Siberia into a Eurasian logistics hub. The investment is a down payment on Russia's eastward pivot. Rivers are being turned into the backbone of a new trade system. The Ob-Irtysh basin is the centerpiece of Russia's river strategy. This vast waterway links China, Kazakhstan, and Russia, forming a natural trade corridor. Omsk and Novosibirsk, with access to both river and rail, are set to become logistics capitals. Goods can move seamlessly from train to barge, north to the Arctic or south to Asia. Developing the Obi River is a geopolitical project, not just infrastructure. Russia plans to dredge channels, modernize ports, and build river-sea vessels. If successful, this waterway will carry everything from Chinese goods to Siberian grain. The Obi River could become Eurasia's new lifeline. Russia's rivers are feeders for a bigger vision: the Northern Sea Route NSR. Cargo from Siberia will flow north to Arctic ports, then ship east or west via the NSR. Melting ice is making the NSR more navigable, and Russia is investing in icebreakers and new ports. Ports like Sabita and Murmansk are being expanded to handle river-sea transfers. The goal: a seamless logistics chain from inland Russia to global markets. This integrated river-sea route offers a powerful alternative to congested railways and southern sea lanes. Russia aims to control a new artery of global trade. Russia's river strategy hinges on cooperation with China and Kazakhstan. The Irtysh and Amur are transboundary rivers, requiring complex agreements. Kazakhstan and China have already signed deals to use the Irtysh for trade. Moscow wants to link this corridor to the Northern Sea Route, creating a Eurasian trade spine. Shared interests drive collaboration, but water use and environmental concerns create friction. The Amur and Irish are lifelines for all 3 nations, but also potential flashpoints. Balancing transport. Agriculture and water supply will test this partnership. Success depends on trust and coordination. Russia is redrawing its economic map, pivoting east and investing in its rivers. The plan integrates the rivers, railways, and the Arctic coast into a powerful logistics network. Rivers like the Ob-Irtysh will carry bulk goods, freeing railways for high-value cargo. This network plugs into the Northern Sea Route, leveraging climate change to open new shipping lanes. The vision faces hurdles: logistical, environmental, diplomatic, but it's a long-term bet on geography. By connecting with China and Kazakhstan, Russia is building a new economic ecosystem. The challenges are real, but the direction is set. Russia's rivers are becoming its greatest strength in a new era.